Lead us Sairam. Just a quick roundup of announcements. There's nothing prominent from the region or region one or the US